Hello everybody and welcome to the Whiskey Dictionary. Tonight I have something a little bit different for you, and it's not quite what you're expecting. Now you might have seen Girl Scout cookies and whiskey, and figured this would be just another whiskey pairing with Girl Scout cookies, but nay, this is not. What I did last night is I tried one of each cookie. So I bought a box of each cookie, and I wanted to kind of take some notes on what I thought the cookie tasted like, and then tonight I'm going to pick out a whiskey that I think might go well. But where this is going to be different than some other lists where people are really trying is I'm not all that great at this, and this could prove to be a little bit terrible. So what I did is I took a bite of each cookie, I wrote down some notes about what I thought it tasted like, and tonight we're going to pick one out. So let's start off with my notes from last night. So I started with the Toffee-tastic, which, as you would expect, tastes a bit like toffee. Now my note was that it was dry and that there was not a lot of toffee to it. So I'm going to take a quick bite, make sure I kind of feel the same way, and I'm going to stand up and I'm going to go pick a whiskey off the shelf. And I'm going to see if it is at all a good pairing. So, dry, not a lot of toffee. All right, I think I have one. So my shelves are still not quite in order, or I should say any order. So I'm going to attempt to pick these in any reasonable time frame. If it takes me too long, I'll just fast forward. So this is the Old Ezra 7. Now I picked this, I honestly don't really know. This one just kind of came to my mind. So this one's barrel strength, it's 58.5%. So I'm already going to kind of start off really well here. But I thought that I remembered this whiskey having somewhat of a toffee flavor to it, and maybe that would make it go well together. But let's find out. I also kind of remember this one being a little oaky, so that might overbear the Toffee-tastic cookie. This is ridiculous. All right, let's go ahead and have a little sip. Smells pretty good. Smells a little oaky, a little bit cherry. All right, let's go ahead and have a taste. Cheers. So the barrel strength is a little overpowering for the cookie. However, there is something about the Old Ezra that's reminding me a little bit of cherry. And for whatever reason, apparently cherry and toffee is a pretty good combo because this tastes pretty good. I will say barrel strength is the wrong call. A cookie just can't hold up to it. So I'll try to keep that in mind going forward, but we'll see what tonight brings. So, Toffee-tastic and Old Ezra 7. Why the hell not? Next. So, my next one was, all right, makes sense. I'm going to start off with, our second one will be lemon. Now, these are called Lemon Ups. They are big and lemony, and I actually kind of like these. I like lemon desserts. I don't know about the rest of you guys. I don't like it like crazy strong, but pretty good stuff. So let's go ahead and see what this tastes like. But actually, I need to do the proper thing if I'm doing a sampling. Stay hydrated and drink some water. All right. That is good. Very lemony. My notes were, I wrote that I thought a light Speyside would go well with this. Having that taste right there, I also agree. So, I think I have a couple in mind. So let's go with the two of these. Makes me realize I've been spending a little bit more time with these whiskeys than I thought I did because I knew exactly where both of these were. All right, so I have the Glen Grant 12 and I have the Benromach 10. Now, these are both Speysides. Both I remember as being pretty light. I think this one was a little bit heavier than the Glen Grant. So I've got a lot of glasses and I'm going to try them both. Because why not? All right, so let's go ahead. I'm going to say that I think the Benromach was going to be a better choice. I think if I'm remembering this correctly, and it's been a while since I've drank this, if I'm remembering it correctly, it's a little bit more body to this than the Glen Grant. And because of that, I think it's going to hold up a little bit better to the intense lemon taste here. But let's see. Nose isn't quite matching up with what I remember the tasting like. But let's see. All right, cheers. Nah. You know what that makes it taste like, though? It makes it... That thing just exploded. It makes it taste like if you were to make a lemon cake and do that like a lemon icing drizzle thing all over the top. That's what this adds to that, which is good and tastes good. I might change my mind, actually, on that initial no, but let's try the Glen Grant. I'm going to have a lot of whiskey during this episode. This is going to be a good episode. See, that's more what I had in mind. However, let's see. I'm going to put some generic, not generic, I'm going to put some of my previous tasting notes on any one of these whiskeys because I'm pretty sure, I mean, I've had all of these, obviously. If I know it well enough to pick it with this, I'm going to assume I've done an episode. If I haven't done an episode, I'll put up something and I'll maybe cite where it came from. But either way, just so you guys kind of know what I'm tasting without me going into the full tasting review here. I don't think the Glen Grant holds up well to this, but... No, I'm going to go with my initial impression. I think the Ben Romek was a much better choice. That's really interesting. Even just looking at the color, you would think that a Glen Grant might go a little bit better. What would you guys recommend for a really lemony, citrusy whiskey that might go well with something like that? Question for you guys down in the comments. So let's go to the next one. Everybody's favorite, Samoa's. Also used to be known as Caramel Delights. I wrote down that I thought a bourbon that was oaky would go well with this. So this is a mostly coconut and chocolate and caramel cookie. So actually kind of reminiscent of certain bourbons that we've had. But let me just take a taste. I wish I could cheat a little bit and go look back through my notes because I distinctly remember one whiskey, maybe two, that I've reviewed in the past that had a coconut note to it, but I didn't think to do this. So anyway, I'm saying this is going to go well with an oaky bourbon. I think that's an okay choice, but again, I'm a little worried it might overpower it. So if I'm thinking about oaky bourbons, I'm going to think Knob Creek, just regular Knob Creek. Now might be a little blasphemy here. Regular Knob Creek, although I think it's pretty good to get started on, I've kind of fallen out of love with. Just kind of doesn't do much for me. Now some of the other Knob Creeks are great, but the regular Knob Creek, it's a good mixer for me. Like if I'm making a Manhattan or something, I'll certainly drink it, and there's a lot that I would drink after Knob Creek, but it's just not something that I go out of my way to have. Anyway, so Knob Creek and Samoa. All right. Cheers. That's the flavor profile I was picturing. Let's see if it actually matches up. I think that's a really good pairing. I'm very happy with that choice. I might actually put that one aside and have it after the camera turns off. But, all right, so we are down 3. We have 5 more to go. A couple of these next 5 are very intense flavors, so that could get a little tricky. But hopefully my pink notes here will help me out. S'mores. I wrote New Riff thinking that I had the old New Riff bourbon. But I don't have it anymore, so I'm gonna have to go something else. Let me try a taste of this. I mean, it tastes like a s'more. Another question for you guys. Q of the D, right? That sounds douchey. Question of the day. How much do you guys toast your marshmallows when you do s'mores? Do you go like crispy? Do you do like perfect tan color? Do you just barely touch by the fire? What's your preference? I personally, great point of pride, always try to get the perfect golden hue all the way around. As for this, so obviously sugary, chocolatey, and the cookie itself is less graham cracker and more just kind of like a biscuit, kind of cracker. The cookie's not adding a whole lot. So what I think I need to do here is find something sugary and chocolatey. Now, when I think chocolate, I think of a few different things. I'm toying with the idea of doing the Jameson stout cask mates, only because stouts and chocolate and all that kind of go together. I'm wondering if a rye would go well with this. It probably would, but just because it's weird, I'm gonna go with the cask mates. So the only thing I actually have set up in any sort of order is my Irish whiskey, and that's because March is typically Irish whiskey month, so I knew I had some stuff coming up. All right, so I've got the Jameson Irish Whiskey Cask Mates edition for a stout. This is gonna be interesting. It might be, I've opened this before, haven't I? Yeah, duh. It's like half gone. Of course I've opened it, but didn't seem to want to open. All right, let's go ahead and give this a try. All right, lost track of my cookies. I think I'm immediately regretting this decision, but let's see. I don't know. No, definitely not. Although I will say that this is a little bit better than the last time I was eating Jameson on this channel. And I do mean eating Jameson. Check the video up there if you'd like to see that. It is probably worth your time. That was a big fail. Not a good combo. The Jameson Irish Stout Cask Mates, not my favorite. So maybe that has something to do with it. It doesn't hold up to the s'mores cookie. I do think a rye would do better, but just for the sake of being wrong, I'm going to let that one hang out there. And the next one I'm doing